Folks, good morning. Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. This is the morning we've been waiting for. We got the fence all done on the new farm Jan and I bought, and all the perimeters tight. We've got in around four poly braid paddocks using the geared reels with the Powerflex poly braid. Folks, there is no better braid than the Powerflex. And you want to get the one called mixed metal. So it's got 6 steel filaments and 3 copper. It's twice as conductive. It's durable. To give you an idea, this one right here, this is our lane going down to the new farm. Folks, that wire right there is over 15 years old. It still looks like it's brand new. You can't buy anything and use it every day for 15 years and have it look new. You can't. Well, I don't know anything. I don't know anything that does that. I see these bulls, they don't know that lane's going down that hill. So Joel's behind them. Joel's the anchor. And I'm gonna be the leader, so I'm gonna get on this thing. Hang with me here. Got my nice little bar on the front, so see I can run over this wire with it on. Check this out. So I'm gonna run right over the wire. Ran over. Woo! Yeah. They're not used to going down this hill. They will. They think there's a wire in right there. There was a wire in right there. And see, another thing I want y'all to remember, cattle don't like walking into the sun. See, I'm going right into the east sun. They can't see where they're going. Woo! It blinds them. So if you ever set up a loading area or a working facility where you're making cattle walk into the east, a lot of you newbies are asking about building corrals and such. Make sure that when you back up to load them, it's not facing that, due east. You're gonna have a hard time loading them. Woo! So face it, north or south, or I guess you could face it west as long as you didn't do it at night, if you weren't trying to load them at night, but north or south is best. But anyway, I wanted to point that out. They're coming. The wire because they can't see. Got 84 head in here. There's 54 bulls and I think it's 55 bulls and 29 steers. Got some 2-year-olds in here. I think there's 5 3-year-olds and all the rest of them 2-year-olds and yearlings, not quite. April May calves from last year. Woo! Now they're gonna make it curve here. Here we go. This is gonna be so cool. We got a creek down here for water, and after 2 more strips, we'll be on a pond. We've got a tank. The previous owner had a tank below this pond. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Onto the 141. There they go. Folks, this charger on this farm, we just hooked it up. And I'm gonna tell you what, it is hot. It's 9,500 volts. Yep, it's a Speedrite solar charger, 18 joule. And Joel and I got it all hooked up yesterday. We built a battery box for it to keep the sun and the ice and the snow off of our battery, and the leads. We didn't want the leads getting corroded. This is so cool. All that work getting this thing fenced. And there it is. Cool. So what Joel and I did, we made some real little paddocks. I've got a tour here this morning. I gotta watch my time. Oh, I got time. Gotta get back to the house. We got some group of students coming out this morning. Anyway, we made this intentionally small paddock to get some animal density. This hasn't been grazed for 2 years. Joel, put one of those up, maybe the middle one, or probably put a ground. Yeah, the ground won't pop. There you go. Just to keep them from going back up that hill. So we got time. I'm gonna walk you over and show you what Joel and I did yesterday. So this is the edge of their, whoops, I got my foot hung. This would be the edge of their first paddock right here. And Joel, I noticed us running over that. Would you tighten those strings up so they don't hit that ground? There you go. I like O'Brien reels, except for I don't like their latch. It falls down, and so you can see I've taken the latch off. Right there's the hole. What would happen is that latch would fall down as I was going across the pasture. And this handle was in my four-wheeler pipe, and it'd go flying out of the pipe, or it would break my poly braid. So I just took them off. I wish O'Brien would fix that. All the engineers they've got on staff, and nobody's tackled that yet. But they need a latch like Terragate. I'll just put it point blank. They need one like Terragate. And I tried to take a Terragate latch and put on it. It won't fit. It won't fit. Terragate's got a superior latch to O'Brien's latch. Oh, it's a beautiful sight. Got a nice little silvo pasture here. Yeah, all kinds of deer and turkey in here. Just the best of both worlds. I gotta go show you what we did. Hey, Joel, would you bring the fence tester? I want you all to see this firsthand. You don't have to take my word for it. Wait till you see what this thing's pushing. I'll just show you the whole setup. I think we've got an awesome setup. So here's another piece. This is a little piece. It's probably half an acre. It might be an acre. But what we're trying to do, folks, is get it tight enough where the bulls trample this dead grass. This hasn't been grazed now for 2 years. And so you got all this dead thatch in here. Now in my old days, I'd have put a match on it and burned it. Can y'all see a difference? There's where we grazed this winter on Doug and Joanne. This is a farm we just bought. It's still got some work to do on it to get it cranking again. But the guy that owned it before us, he did take good care of it. He didn't abuse it. He was always a little bit understocked, so he always had tons of grass. I never saw this farm overgrazed. Never did. And he was on it for, gosh, 35 years? Something like that. You know, he had it paddocked up, and the developers that bought it took all his fence out to put houses on it. And we've put a lot of that fence back in already. So here's our power unit. So we're gonna put a wire on this side of that charger, because I know the bulls are curious. They'll be up there with their lips and mouth pushing on that. They might even get their mouth on that and pull those off of there. So you got 2 leads coming from that monster, and then you got 2 leads coming from the solar charger. The solar unit, I'm sorry. So 2 reds, 2 blacks. And we built that box yesterday, Joel and I did. And the leads are too short to lay the battery on the ground. That's a 2.5-inch pipe. And that's a Speedrite 18,000. It's It's an 18 joule. They call it an 18,000 I. So it can be plugged in to the wall, or you can use it on a battery. This is a dry cell battery. It's a very powerful battery. I think it's gonna last us a long time. We're gonna put a flap right here. Jan bought me a rubber flap where it hangs down, just to keep all the rain and the snow and the ice and the sunlight off of our leads right here. So this is made out of cedar, and we beefed it up. That panel was a little wiggly, so we ran a few gussets back to this cross panel. And Joel, you want to do the honors? So what are you reading there? 10,600 volts.
I'm not going to touch that one.
Well, if you touch it, I don't want to be around you because you're going to scream. Now let's touch the ground wire. It's going to be reading something.
It hasn't.
Reset it. Just hit reset. There you go. Now turn it on again. Golly, that's awesome. It's got 0 kV on it.
There's the next hot.
There's your next hot. 10,003. Now the very bottom. Oh no, this one's only got 4 wires. So
that's not the ground.
Yeah. So where it comes off this fence, folks, it goes up through that woods. The previous owner only had 4 wires, and then halfway through that woods, it comes to a corner, and then he ran 5 the rest of the way, all the way to the blacktop. And then of course we hooked on and went 5 on everything we ran 5, and it goes all the way around this whole farm, clear back over to there, and then down. This is Doug and Joanna's fence here, and this 5. You want to show them our switch? So what you got going on there, Joel?
So we needed a switch so we can turn the power off to everything. And so since the switch on the charger's on that side of the fence,
yeah,
you have to climb through the fence to turn it on. And
you're going to climb through a 10,500 volt fence?
I don't want to do that. So we put in a switch here that here's the lead coming off our charger, the hot.
What's that big roll of cable for?
That's it's a coil to. It's a lightning arrestor, so when the lightning hits the fence anywhere around the farm, it has to run through that, and it slows it down enough before it gets to the charger that it doesn't fry everything in there.
Okay, so they actually call it a lightning choke.
Okay.
And it's all that is buried wire, but there's I don't know how many. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. Looks like about 13 circles there. So there's probably close to 75 feet of wire there. And then we just used clippies on each side to hold it nice and secure. Okay, I didn't aim to interrupt you. So anyway, you went from that to what?
So it runs up and into the bottom of this switch. So when you open this up.
And now you opened it. Put your tester on that, see what you got. So now Joel just took the whole fence off. It's at 10.6, and this top lead's showing what? Right here.
That's nothing.
Nothing, because you opened it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's close it back up. There you go. That's it. So our ground field is down here that we showed the other day. Joel and I put in 5 ground rods that are 6 foot deep, and they're all in series with the galvanized wire. Just goes from one, we stuck it right underneath the fence, that way nobody gets in touch with it. And then we put another ground rod on the far end of the farm, and it's coming straight up and hooking onto the ground. And you know, we might sprinkle a few more ground rods around this farm because it is a big farm. It wouldn't cost us that much to do it, and it might make it just even a better fencing system. So yeah, this is what we got. Joel and I, we got to get back to that tour in a minute, but we're going to split this little piece in two. We're going to put 84 head in here for maybe 30 minutes on half-acre paddocks. They're going to work. They're going to get to work. They're going to trample this stuff. They're going to eat all the green out of here, but they're going to trample all this dead stuff on the ground. I want y'all to remember something. Earthworms don't walk around on stilts. So you've got to get it You know, up here, there's nothing can get it. But if you trample it with a cloven hoof onto the ground, and now the earthworms can get to work eating this stuff, and next thing you know, you got this, ouch, you got this beautiful grass coming back up, and the thatch, you just fed a ton of carbon to the soil. So, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's it feel like, Joel, to watch those bulls?
It's pretty nice.
It was a lot of work, wasn't it? But it's now coming to fruition.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? Anything good in life, anything that's hard in life is good when you get there, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a 180 watt solar panel, and it's facing due south. And we've got it far enough off the road where you can't see it. If you put something like this up by the road where people can see it, you're probably gonna end up missing it some morning. There's just people that do that. So don't tempt thieves to come and steal stuff by putting it up next to the road. I'm gonna walk back over here. We're gonna look at the bulls and the steers, make sure they're all still in. Oh, there's some deer. I saw that. The deer are mixing it. There's another deer. They're running down toward the bulls. What's that called? That's I would guess you would call that multi-species grazing. You got deer and cattle all right next to each other. We came out here pretty early this morning to make a few last minute additions, and I could hear a turkey back up on top of that ridge over there. And they were gobbling. It's that time of year. Oh yeah, they're all down there around that creek. So we're gonna move them. We're gonna go do the tour and come back. By that time, those bulls and steers, they're gonna be ready to come out of there. And we're gonna move them into here, and then over there. And so we're gonna make probably at least 4 to 5 moves today. And then we've got another paddock set up, ready to put in up on the hill there. So, yeah. This is an area you wouldn't want to put them in if you're getting a ton of rain. It's going to be a wet area, and all they're going to do is punch it. You'd want them more up on the hills. We hope to get pressurized water on this farm, and if we do, there's already a tank up there. We just got to get power to it. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and just wanted y'all to be with us on the first time we grazed the new farm. And yeah, everything seems pretty content and grazing. The grazing will get better once they get the duff trampled. But this first grazing pass across this farm, there is some duff. We're going to make them trample it. So y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all down the road next time. Hit that subscribe button on the way out if you would. I'd appreciate it.